All right, so we're running through Grimm, Grimm Archetypes, Grimm Tries, really. I mean, Grimm is fairly tribal. After having gone through multiples of them in previous videos, immediately to this video, but also throughout the playlist that this video is in. I've talked about fairy tales, were-rabbits, elves, I think even nightmares, if I remember correctly. So this is humans. All right. So Grimm has, because it's Grimm's fairy tales, a lot of paired up cards like Romeo and Juliet, for instance. This is a good example. So let's talk about Romeo and Juliet. Now, this is very interesting because you put this in a human tribal deck, but you can also put it in fairy tales. You can put it in nightmares. Of course, you're going to lose some of the tribal strength, but I would put it in a human deck. Let's just say that both of them were in. Now, what are the colors of my humans? Let me go through in here. I see water. I see green, red. Yeah, pretty much everything. Even some darkness. Yeah, even some darkness. So pretty much every attribute. Wind. Green is wind. I remember it from Yu-Gi-Oh. All right. So what happened to Juliet? Cannot be destroyed as long as you control Romeo the Despair. As long as you control Romeo the Despair, Nightmare Resonators lose Nightmare and gain Fairy Tale. Interesting. So actually this would go on a Fairy Tale deck. It's better in a Fairy Tale deck. I'll keep a note of it for the future in case I want to put this in I think I'm going to build a Fairy Tale battle box out of this Mega Cube. And then what happened to Romeo? When it's put into a graveyard from a field, if you control Juliet, you may pay 1 darkness. If you do, put this card from your graveyard into your field. So he keeps coming back. Fairly weak as a 1/300/300, but no, actually he's not that weak for the era. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's Romeo and Juliet. And then there's this spell that comes with them, the Dream of Juliet. If you control both, she's up to 3. But otherwise, it doesn't even really matter that you control Romeo and Juliet. You can use one of them. Yeah. Destroy target addition, draw a card, remove target resonator from the game, then put it into its owner's field. So reanimate. Flicker. Yeah, this is a flicker effect. So if it's got an enter ability, you can flicker something and trigger its enter ability again. That's nice. That's nice. I'm glad I'm taking my time in a single video with humans because they're fairly complex in cards as well as in real life. Then there's this other human which is very interesting. Kind of not paired up, but you could build a human bird deck. And that's going to be interesting, and I'm going to think about that as well. And so just a note to myself, when I watch this video again, which I will, is that the Romeo-Juliet combo is really for the Fairy Tale Battle Box. And then the human bird combo, I would put in a human deck, but that will allow me to put some flyers because, hey, guess what? Birds fly. Although there are some in Alice that don't. Very interesting. So you drop Joyful Birdcatcher, it's a human, and you pay 1 water, tap it, search your main deck for a bird resonator, reveal it, and put it into your hand. And show, yeah, so it'll tutor for birds. And Rock, which got a Rock Egg in, was it the Moonlit Savior that Rock Egg is in? I forget. I think it is. It's a flyer. And it is not vanilla because flying is a printed ability. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so then now we just get into the humans. Resonator. Let's just get the resonators. Yeah. And yeah, okay, that's good. And now hopefully I won't forget the other cards. Yeah. So the 40 Thieves, Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, very interesting that they put it in here. I like that. Enters, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. That's interesting. Yeah, I like that. It's a common in NPR. We're going to crack many more because I have like 24 packs of NPR to crack left. Jekyll. Oh, I forgot to get Hyde. Okay, he's somewhere in there. I'll discuss him at some other point. Sorry about that. Okay, Sleeping Beauty. Fairy Tale Human. You may choose not to recover it, so it's a lockdown card on. Yeah, so it gets a benefit, but you gotta keep him sleeping. You gotta keep her not doing anything else. So activate, pay 1, tap it. Resonators you control gain +200/+200 as long as this card is rested. Yeah, that's interesting. So this can be used as an anthem regardless of what tribe this card is in. It's any resonator, so I really like it. That's a nice effect. Then a human, but also a knight. Resonators you control cannot be destroyed until end of turn. Awakening. So this is, awakening is like kicker. Yeah, it's like kicker. That's right. Okay. Don Quixote. 4-drop, 900, 900 from TAT. Nice. It's a rare. This guy is, I really want to build a deck almost like around this guy, and it may not even be humans. So it's got incredible clauses. Seth deserves a deck. Yeah, he does. They're both continuous. Whenever your opponent discards a card, draw a card. That's pretty good, man. I really want to build a deck around this guy. And then whenever a resonator is put into a graveyard from your opponent's field, put target resonator from your graveyard into your hand. Yeah, I would be seeding my graveyard and my opponent's graveyard left and right with this guy. I wanna build this deck. Yeah, I do. So actually, it's almost like there's a Seth deck. It's got nothing to do with humans. I would put all kinds of cards in it that were really strong. I would probably put Morgana, which used to be banned. Continues. If you draw a card, and I had to hit the tripod, I always do that at least once every video. If you would draw a card in a phase other than draw phase, you may look at the top 3 cards of your main deck, put one of them into your hand, and the rest at the bottom of your main deck. So you're not seeding the graveyard, which would have been even better, but if I was going with Seth, but maybe Seth and Morgana are in different decks, and that's perfectly fine. Very nice card. This is a really good clause. I would have a draw spell that was an instant, and I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't use it in my draw phase, of course. Yeah, I would have to draw something else. Yeah, there's a reason why this card got banned at one point or another. Then we have 2 very nice cards. One from TAT on the left and one of Moon Priest of Return on the right. Trying to figure out if this TAT card is Japanese or Taiwanese, but I'm not going to figure it out in this particular video. Human, John the Ark. Each turn, prevent the first damage that will be dealt to a fantasy or human J resonator you control. Kicker, Awakening. You may put a non-spell fantasy card from your hand into your field. A non-spell fantasy card. Okay. You may pay an additional light as you play this card. If you, oh yeah, it's describing the Awakening. Never mind. Why am I reading that? Okay. A non-spell fantasy card from your hand. And that must mean a fantasy resonator? I'll have to read the rules. I'm not certain about that. Somebody knows what this means exactly. Please put it in the comments. I beg you. Alright, so then for Abel, he's a human. Incarnation, which means incarnation light. So you gotta sack something. You may banish it. You may banish 2 light resonators and pay this card's cost. It's only a 3-drop. I would never do that, but I would pay the Awakening, and I would destroy all other resonators. That I really, really like. That's very powerful. Yeah, Abel's cool. Okay, nice. Then the humans anthem is Light Palace, the King's Castle. Humans you control gain +200/+200, and you can destroy a target addition if you banish it and you pay 1 light. Yeah, that's great. I've pulled a bunch of these cards, so I should have 4 of them for a humans deck. Banish a resonator if you draw 2 cards. If you banish a human this way, draw 3 cards. Now, this would be very interesting, and it would fit, and somebody would use it against a human deck and not put it in a human deck. I would put it in my human deck, and I would have something lame or one of my lesser humans, and I would have maybe like 4 of them, even 8 of them in the deck that would be targets for this guy. and effectively I would play it. I would play the human, maybe do something with it, but also it's an instant speed. So if somebody was about to whack it, I could just sack it and draw 3 cards. That's what I would do. Alright, so that's humans for you. And I'm going to go read the rule book to understand what John d'Arc does. Maybe I'll ask in the Reddit. And yeah, so this is the human archetype out of Grimm cards.